Nigeria has had the same conversations for decades. Every generation has talked about the same problems: corruption, weak systems, lack of trust. And if we're honest, those problems have not reduced. If anything, they have become deeper and more complex. So maybe the question is no longer about what the problem is. The real question is, what is the new approach to it? Particularly in a world that is changing so quickly, a globalized world, an AI-driven world, where decisions made in one part of the world can affect us all. If nothing changes in how we respond, nothing changes in what we experience. And the reality is, if we continue the same way, the consequences will only get worse. So today's conversation is not about blaming the government or the leaders or systems. It's about something much closer to us. Joining us in this conversation is Daniel Fadipe, the CEO and Managing Partner of All Encompassing Global Consult. Welcome to Integrity Generation Podcast.
Thank you very much. And I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome. All right, so in about 30 seconds, can you give us a brief overview of what All Encompassing Global Consult is about?
Great. So it's very much connected to what we're going to be talking about today. From the word all encompassing, we're committed and focused to solving real problems with businesses, institutions, and also governments. I know the mindset has been not to blame those institutions because of the systemic issues, but to create frameworks and models that would help solve some of the problems that we inherit in this country.
That sounds like you've been very busy.
Very, very busy.
So, do you genuinely believe that that approach works?
Absolutely. We took a very unique approach. We started with an initiative to look after the most promising, the top 1% of the graduates that are rolled out across all tertiary institutions in Nigeria. So that's the Talent Incubation Hub initiative, which I have the privilege to lead from the private sector point of view. The National Assembly think tank, which is NAILS, has the privilege to coordinate from the government side. And what we've done with that is identifying those that are intentional about solving problems on personal level, looking at what they can do themselves, not looking at what the system has built for us, and not looking at what the government is set to do. And so far, so good. I can tell you everything you've seen connected to the All Encompassing Global Consult Limited, the deliveries that you're seeing out there. The Talent Incubation Hub initiative has been led by young, bright minds from this country, which is to tell a story. We have people that are committed to integrity, people that are committed to doing things right. We just need to engage them, empower them, and give them the opportunity to thrive.
That sounds very rich, and thank you for that. But then it got me thinking, if I'm able to play the devil's advocate, in a world where that approach does not work, what other alternatives are there in solving that problem?
Well, I think more of advocacy and awareness. The moment you allow an individual understand the power that lies in them, the little they can do, from the saying, little drops makes an ocean. The moment you support them, you put them in an enabling environment, you get results. That's been proven over years.
That's amazing. And one of the examples you gave is about empowering people. So can you give us a simple real life example of what it looks like for someone to take responsibility in a situation like this? Like, give us a proper scenario for this.
Okay. A very good example. We had a bunch of young people that are passionate about civic engagement. And we have the privilege to also lead a youth summit. And the theme was the road to 2027. We all know this. This is connected to the upcoming election. We engaged these young ones and we wanted to see what they can do. It's not just about coming to sit, everybody talking, event is an event. Interestingly, we were able to build a civic engagement toolkit that would allow the young ones to know the right to vote, the right to be voted for, and every single thing they need to know about their civic engagement and their civic right. That's a testament to when you give the opportunity to those people that are passionate about making a change. They don't want to see things done the way it's been done before. That's an example when we talk about civic engagement and civic right. Now talking about businesses, because we're also passionate about leading a team or a world of young people that can actually see that they can start small. We've engaged, institutions that are connected with, supporting businesses and, asking them to give these ones the opportunity. What does that mean? I've left school. I've done really well in school. I'm passionate about agriculture, for example. I can start something small. And that way, before you know what's going on, I'm able to employ more people. Before you know what's going on, the business thrive. Before you know what's going on, I then get recognized. In my immediate environment, I've solved a pressing problem. I've also been able to solve a problem around what I'm passionate about. I don't have to start with $3 million. I can only start with what I have within my reach. And before you know what's going on, that will be a big thing. Those are the examples that we've seen so far amongst the young ones.
Those are very great examples. But you see, as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, it pains me to my bone marrow that we usually wait for when things have gotten rotten before everybody now has ginger. Because, growing up, if you're about to put your hand in fire, the elder ones will tell you, don't put your hand, it will burn you. But as children, we don't know what we're doing until we put our hands in, and then we now start to cry. So why is that a case for us here in Nigeria, that things have to get to the point of spoilage before we take action? Now we can't even travel around freely. Why? Why can't we start earlier?
Yes, that's the default mindset. Let's wait until it goes bad. But the implication of that is massive. Before you start to fix it, it becomes a whole, lot of work to do. That alone can discourage you. And you look at the impact, you start thinking, where do I start from? But we don't have to think that way. Let's start from the little that we can do as individuals. I'll give an example. When it comes to climate awareness, climate change, issues around recycling, if you litter the streets inappropriately, or you're just one of those people that litters, I join that number with another community, another community, another community. What do we get in return? It'll be a mess. But if it starts with you, you're conscious about how you dispose your waste, you're conscious about the impact on the environment, and we have a community of people coming together to do the same, the world will be a much better place.
So this next question is something you've already touched on, but I'll still ask it because I feel there's still a bit of things we need to talk about. And the question is, what is the real cost when people choose not to act, when they stay silent or wait? We discussed it with the waste disposal, and you also touched points on other topics. So in your own view, when it comes to general matters that affect Nigerians, security, food, electricity, we're seeing the real cost of that. But from your own perspective, what is the cost of that to Nigerians as a country and Nigerians as individuals?
Okay, so let's start with the very first question. What happens when people decide not to do anything? The process continues. And we end up in a cycle where we just complain and complain and complain, and nothing is done. But just imagine if you're not happy a very particular process, and you can sit back and look at the process and break the chain, you can create something new. If you're looking at building a house and the foundation is faulty, you start patching things, you end up spending more money until you take that executive decision to say, oh, okay, hang on a second, let's salvage what we can salvage, which is talking about those that are intentional about making a change, engaging those people, bringing them into roundtable conversation, let them understand that the power lies in them. Let them understand that little drops makes an ocean is not just a saying. It's what we need to solve the problems in Nigeria. That way, each and everyone start acting independently, but the impact is going to be collective. We've spoken about waste disposal. We talk about security. We talk about what government is doing. Now, hold on a second. Who sits in government? People like you and me that has gone through a journey, and they have to deliver. They have to lead us. They have their bits to do. But what do they have to correct? Let's go back to the recycling issue. If we walk down the street and we see litters everywhere, who placed that there is the question. How did the litter get there? From heaven? No. People are responsible. Majority of what we're talking about, it's the people behind the scene, each and every one of us. The moment we start thinking differently, we change the mindset, the solution starts, no matter how small. People already have this mentality that the problem is massive, is enormous. Where do I start from? Start from somewhere. Do something. Put a bunch of people together, your immediate family members, your co-workers. Let them understand that they have the power to make a change.
So before we even proceed with our final question and even with the task that we have for the audience, I'd like to summarize everything we've discussed so far, and please feel free to add or subtract from this. Our problem in Nigeria is a behavioral mindset problem, right? We are quick to blame the government, but forgetting that people who make up the government are people like you and I. So if our mentality is flawed from the grassroots now, taking it into government is going to be the same thing, but with power and budget backing them. So from what you are saying, we need to, first of all, bring back that sense of community where we're responsible for our fellow man. Nobody wants to challenge the neighbor anymore for fear of backlash or being cancelled, as the Gen Zs will say, and all of that. So that is the first hurdle. Then the second hurdle is, once everybody has that mindset, what are the systems that we can put in place to ensure the continuous oiled engine of Nigeria, for lack of better words? That's the summary of what we've discussed so far, right? Have I said anything? Would you like to add or subtract?
Yes. I think it sums it up. What we're speaking to here is the fact that individuals need to see that they form a collective problem. They form a collective solution. We're talking about the stream into government. People tend to blame the government for everything. But just imagine a world where we have everyone doing the right thing. That makes the job of the government 1,000,000 times easier. Just imagine if we live in a world where all Nigerians moving up and down from their place of abode to the place of work have a collective responsibility to make sure that the streets are clean, to make sure that we live in a place that we love to call our home. The world will be a much better place. And the world will then see us as a country that is united in our ideology.
Thank you very much for that. That's very profound. And I like that. If everybody is able to have that mentality of togetherness, or I'm your brother's keeper, then it makes it easier for the government to actually do their job, or even hold them responsible in a case where they don't. So now my final question to you. And afterwards, like I said, we do have a task for the audience. What would you say to someone who understands this but still hesitates to act?
Just do it.
That's a nice one. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. You have that conviction that you're doing the right thing. Your intentions are right. Just act.
Right.
Just do it. It's that simple. It starts with you. It starts with me. If you have a family and you are committed to doing things the right way, your children will follow through. It will be very difficult for them to go amiss.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very profound. And we've not forgotten about you. Now you've heard this story. Do you agree or disagree? Share your stories that relate. The best stories will be read out in the following episodes.